want to welcome you to the Ask Jeff YouTube channel. Here's today's question. What does Jeff believe the reason is that Baptist churches don't hold revival services anymore? Well, that's a really good question, and it's not just Baptist churches, it's really a host of churches. In fact, I remember the days long ago where, at least in the town that I grew up, usually in the fall and sometimes in the spring, depending on which church and which denomination, every church in town had an annual revival. And it was typically a time period of Sunday through Wednesday, Sunday through Sunday. I've even been a part of those that were 2 weeks in length. And some of you may not know this, but for about 6 years of my life, I was what we call a vocational evangelist. My ministry was going from church to church, campground to campground, preaching these revivals that are mentioned in this question. So the question is why? Well, I really have two answers, and neither one of them are really good. Reason number one is this: due to the advancement of technology and the means of ease of transport and just the feasibility of life, we've kind of become people who, shall I say, are on the move all the time. Let me give you an example. You remember the days that a car was just, you had to throw it away at 100,000 miles? And now you regularly have cars that go 200,000-300,000 miles. I remember when I went off to college the night before, my dad and I packed the bearings in my car so I could go. Nowadays, you never think about that. You say, what does that have to do with this question? Well, 30, 40, 50 years ago, people didn't drive 50, 60, 70 miles at night to go watch the kid play baseball. In fact, I would say, I remember when, baseball season was 8 weeks and soccer season was 8 weeks. And, even back then, we always scheduled those revivals around those little league stuff. And now that it's basically 12 months out of the year and people can travel anywhere, anytime, kind of our society has created this way of the idea of people congregating for a week at a time every night we just don't see that in any means. The second not so good answer is we got lazy. It is hard to do what we call a revival. You've got to prepare, you've got to train, you've got to dedicate time. Basically, you have to put your life on hold. And so, again, at the end of the day, the concept of having a revival is rooted in the Old Testament, particularly what we know as Nehemiah chapter 9, when the Israelites come out of Babylon, and basically every day they gathered for 3 hours, they read the scriptures, they confessed their sins, and they prayed, and God moved. What we know as the revival movement has kind of gone by the wayside the last 20 years. So do you find it interesting that if you were to track church membership, conversions, baptisms, that all the statistics are headed the wrong direction? Maybe, just maybe, what we know as those old protracted meetings or revivals might be the thing we just need. Great question. If you have one, send to AskJeff.net. Maybe your question will be tomorrow. Thanks for being a part of today's daily question. Now, we answer a question each and every day. Please feel free to submit a new question at AskJeff.net. We may not have gotten to yours today, but we eventually will continue to be a part of this. Subscribe so you don't miss out on a question every day.